Hello friends, I am so happy to be here doing another story time with you today. Today I am a bumblebee. I have my wings on here, and did you know bumblebees, we normally have 4 wings? 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 2 today, but normally we have 4 wings, and we have our antennas that we use to actually smell. We don't use our nose, we use our antennas to smell, which is very interesting. And also, another fun fact about bumblebees, we cannot see the color red. Did you know that? A lot of people don't know that. We actually cannot see the color red. So today we're going to learn a bit about bumblebees, and we have a song to sing and a rhyme and our science experiment. Are you so excited? Okay, let's get buzzing along. Okay, our first story is called Bee. It's a simple story. It has peek through pages. So if you look, you can see the little bumblebee in there, and the page is going to turn. Every time we turn it, we'll see something new. So this is called Bee by Britta Teckentrup. All right. Dawn is breaking on a brand new day, and in the meadow, poppies sway. A bee appears, striped black and gold. A wonder of nature is about to unfold. In the treetops, birds start to sing. The little bee beats her wings. As she travels here and there, a gentle humming fills the air. Back and forth, to and fro, Bee knows exactly where to go. Visiting flowers of every hue, she has a special job to do. Gathering nectar as she goes, from every foxglove, every rose, dusty with pollen, the little bee buzzes, busily. Bee travels on from bloom to bloom, drawn in by their sweet perfume. Harvesting flowers one by one, her compass is the midday sun. Among the orchard's apple trees, blossoms quiver in the breeze. Carrying pollen from place to place, Bee always leaves a tiny trace. Flowers as far as the eye can see, too many flowers for just one bee. All of a sudden, Bee is gone. She has a message to pass on. I wonder where she went. Back at the hive, Bee spreads the news. There's work to be done, no time to lose. Listen for their gentle humming. The word is out. The bees are coming. Buzzing over the dense hedgerows, past the pond where wild thyme grows. Through the orchard's sweet-smelling scent, the bees travel on with calm intent. As lilies glow orange in the sun, the bees must finish what they've begun. Stopping at every flower they find, leaving the gift of pollen behind. The bees pass over a woodland stream, droplets sparkle and pebbles gleam. Water trickles, bubbles and weaves, a weeping willow trails its leaves. As the bees fly on through buds and burrs, a tiny miracle occurs. So many plants and flowers you see were given life by one small bee. All those flowers. So many flowers. It's the end of our story. Okay, so as we learned in our story, bees gather pollen. So we're flying along, and when we stop on the flower, we gather the pollen, and then as we fly away, we go to the next flower. Some of that pollen distributes there. We gather new pollen, and we distribute it all over, and that's how a lot of our flowers grow. So in the springtime, when the flowers first start coming up, bees are very important because we help to pollinate the flowers and get more to grow, and that's when we come and end up with our beautiful spring gardens and our flowers throughout the summer. So I'm going to tell you a little rhyme about bees and their hive. So we have a hive here. my wing got stuck. We have a hive here. Let's pretend my hand is a hive, okay? So here is a beehive, but where are the bees? Hidden away where nobody sees. Watch as they fly out of their hive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all alive. Bzzz. It's so fun. I want to do a science experiment with you next. That involves a bag of Cheetos. Do you all know what Cheetos are? They're delicious, aren't they? Okay, so this science experiment, if you want to do this along with me at home, you will need a bag of Cheetos, or it can be either kind. These are the puffy kind or the like crunchy kind. And you're going to need a napkin. So I have Cheetos, napkin. Okay? So what you want to do, we're going to open up our bag of Cheetos. Open it up. Do you have my Cheetos in there? Let's take them out and count them, okay? Then we'll do that first. Let's see how many Cheetos we have. So we have 1 Cheeto, 2 Cheeto, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a lot in here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 Cheetos were in my bag. So we have them all right here. Let's try to move the camera so you guys can see our Cheetos. Wow, look at all those Cheetos there. So we see we have some that are bigger, like this. Some that got broken in, whoops, we're losing Cheetos. Some that got broken in half. But like, look at my fingers as I'm doing this. What is this all over my fingers? Put the camera back up. What is happening all over my fingers? Can you guys see that on there? So we have our Cheetos. So if you guys think about it, Cheetos are a snack covered in cheese, right? So we eat the cheese, and then as we eat them, it gets all over our fingers. Can you see that orange on my fingers? That is kind of like how a bee pollinates a flower. So let's pretend this is our flower. The flower's here, and the bee comes along, and he lands on it, and he's moving around doing his thing, and he goes to the next flower, and then he has the pollen on his fingers, or my fingers, on the bee, and it goes to the next flower. So that is a demonstration of how pollination actually works. Now this demonstration is actually edible. You can now eat these Cheetos if you want to, but make sure you wash your hands to get the Cheeto pollen off. Don't want to make a mess. So let's wipe our hands off really quick. Okay, so now that I have come back, I've washed my hands, I've gotten my Cheeto pollen off my fingers, we can continue with a song. But first, before we start the song, I want to tell you one more thing about bees that I'm sure many of you know. Have you guys ever heard of honey? You put it in your tea sometimes, or in foods to make them taste a little bit sweeter. Honey is something that bees make. We make it out of nectar, which is something that the bees take the nectar and they mix it with the pollen from our fingers, and it makes the honey, which we all love to eat and put in things. So this song is about bees drinking nectar, and it's how they make the honey. Okay, so this tune is might be familiar to you guys. It's called Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but it's a song about bees called Bees Drink Nectar. Okay. Bees drink nectar from flowers. They eat the pollen too. Nectar provides bees with energy. Pollen is protein, just what the bees need. Then the nectar's made into honey. When it's cold out, that's what they eat. They mix pollen and nectar together for the larva to eat. There. That was fun. A fun little song. So it tells you how they make the honey. And we're going to read one more story called Please, Please the Bees. So now this is kind of a tricky word because it's saying please, like asking you to please do something. You'd say, Mommy, can I please have whatever? But it's saying also to please the bees, meaning to make them happy. So it's using the word please in two different ways, which a lot of words in our language can do that, but this one is please like you're asking to do something, and please as in to make something happy. So we're saying in this book, can we please make the bees happy? So please, please the bees. This story is by Gerald Kelley. Benedict was a creature of habit. He liked to do the same thing every day. Every morning he woke up at the same time. Every morning he stretched, He scratched. He yawned a great yawn. You guys yawn every morning. Every morning, the bees delivered 3 jars full of honey. Benedict ate the same breakfast he'd eaten since he was just a fuzzy cub. Toast with honey and tea with extra honey. Next came his daily routine, practicing, perfecting his honey cake recipe, knitting, and running errands. At night, he'd read, then he'd have one last cup of honey tea before bed. Life was sweet until one morning. One morning, things weren't the same. In fact, something terribly unsame had happened. What do you think happened? Just looking around. The sign says on strike. The bees are flying around. All these signs that say no. It says there was no more honey. The bees had gone on strike. That means they don't want to work anymore. Benedict became deeply discouraged. Just then, he heard someone say, "Hey, you in the fur coat." It was a very small bee with a remarkably loud voice. "We need to talk," said the bee. "The hive is a wreck," the bee continued. "It's all we can do to keep the walls from falling in. The roof has leaks. Wind blows through the cracks. The last 3 queens up and quit on us, all because of the lousy working conditions." The bee showed Benedict a garden. "Look," said the bee, "weeds everywhere. We have to fly for miles away just to find enough flowers to make our honey. So we voted to strike." "You're taking us for granted," said the bee. "You want honey? Things need to change. It's up to you, bear." And with that, the small bee flew off. The thought of losing his honey sent a chill down Benedict's spine. He had a lot to think about. "Maybe I've been too selfish," Benedict said to himself. "I've never thought about what bees need, but how am I going to make this right?" I think we're skipping a page here. So, he did some research. He did a little shopping. And he did a lot of work. He's trimming the bushes, he's building, he's planting, he's got some seeds, some garbage. He sure is one busy bear. Benedict even learned how to harvest honey. "Well, I suppose it's a bit rude to expect them to do it all themselves," he thought. Finally, he was ready to show the bees all the work he'd done. What would they think? He held his breath as he waited. Then he heard the voice of the remarkably loud, very small bee. "Drop the signs, girls! Time to get back to work!" See, they're all flying back. These days, Benedict is still a creature of habit. He still has his daily routine, but he doesn't take the honey for granted anymore. He knows his life is sweet, but now it's even sweeter. For everyone. For him and his house, and for all the bees. He improved their working conditions, and they wanted to continue working and continue making honey. Because that is what bees do. We pollinate and we make honey. So I hope you learned a little bit about bees today. About what we do and why it's important that we have bees. And I know sometimes we can be, people are scared of us because we have our stinger, but we really just want to pollinate the flowers and help the gardens to grow. So please don't be scared of us. We're not there to hurt you. So with that, we're going to sing our goodbye song. I know you guys are all experts at the goodbye song now. Okay. So, see you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Give a hug, ladybug. Blow a kiss, jellyfish. See you soon, big baboon. Out the door, dinosaur. Take care, polar bear. Wave goodbye, butterfly. Bye, guys. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.